Good evening, everybody. Tonight's show is brought to you by the aptness of anything better to do and another sleepless night. Soon to be another sleepless night. Outside of that, hanging out with my big bro here, Shadow, who has his own show. If you by chance come on my show or watching it, and you recognize this guy, you're in a good place. He has his own show called Shadow and Sun, where he mainly talks about gaming and stuff like that. He has a few other hobbies, um, but he's mainly
We
known
do.
for gaming, and he's a good guy to game with. I should know. I've done it with him multiple times. Gaming, that is. You dirty mind bastards. Anyways, I don't know who's going to pop up. If people decide to come in, I will take it on how much their nonsense I want to put up with before I let them in the show. Granted, there are a few people that get a golden pass, and you guys know who you are. Outside of
Mhm.
that, let's get this ball game going. I need to pick out a cigar. What kind of cigar should I go with? Hmm.
We
This
got to choose
guy,
from.
this guy doesn't smoke anymore. He's better. So this September, let's say September 23rd. Why not September 23rd? That's a fun number. If he is gone, without smoking since the moment you began, which was like what, uh,
January 20th.
January to September 23rd, without lighting up another stick. I told him I'd shave my beard in a very uh, musketeer one. Granted, I've seen a few pictures of Portos
Portos. Portos.
that basically I don't need to shave at all, which I kind of like those. But I'll be fair. I'm not doing the old French style because, well, I like to have
You know,
sex at some point. Um,
yeah,
without
just ask Nicole Brown Smith, whatever her name was. Her ask. We can't ask her for obvious reasons, but ask her dad how lucky he got with that stash. Oh my God, they did not like that.
there was that movie that came out.
Cole Simpson.
Yeah,
Stab.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Um, save that stick from tomorrow, Monday, because I like gaming with cigars. I've been told that this is a really good stick, and it's been a while since me and him talked, so let's celebrate with a really good stick. An Indigeno Bowl. And I'm pronouncing that one wrong. But these people supposedly pump out a really good steak. They're not sponsored by me yet. I'm not sponsored by them, but I will smoke a good stick whenever I have a good stick in hand. Yeah, let's go with it. So, as before we get the start show going, if I seem a little bit spotty, please keep in mind I was in a car accident on Sunday, roughly about 10:40, 11 o'clock, somewhere in that area. I was driving home from St. Louis, and I'm going back to Pekin, Illinois, which honestly I should have just stayed in St. Louis because it's not Pekin, Illinois. On the back road, I think it's like Route 9 or something like that. And I, this is where the jokes begin. And no, I did not get to keep any of it. I ran into a cow, a black cow, a pure black cow on a dark street at in the middle of the night. Why was the cow in the middle of the street? Because I didn't drive through a field because I can actually drive. It's one of the few things I do right. Oh, do well, I should say.
Was it so? It wasn't like a country road, just a
There was a
paved.
it was a paved route, not interstate, but a highway.
Mhm.
And out of nowhere, a black cow, pure black cow, popped up in the middle of the street, and I didn't have enough time to say the f bomb before I ran into it. But because I am there's a term for a type of driver I am not aggressive. That sounds bad. I am a cautious, not a cautious driver, somewhere in between. Anyways,
Conscientious.
instead of going straight right into it, I turned the wheel as fast as I could. Keep in mind, I had a passenger and two people in back going 55 miles an hour, hitting a cow that's anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. You know, it was a big boy. I had curved the steering wheel this
Girl.
way to try to not hit the cow. Unfortunately, I still hit the cow. Um, I lost conscious for roughly about a minute and a half. I got rushed to the hospital, local for me, and I am bruised. I am bruised from the car accident, and I had a microscopic brain bleed. It's
Thanks.
like putting your favorite vinyl on a record player and tapping it. It skips. It and I'm pretty good at the game of talking. I mean, I can run my mouth with the best of them. That guy can verify. And I was stuttering, hardcore stuttering. I couldn't remember my birthday, but what I did remember was who was in the office of El Presidente. Of all the things to remember, I remember Trump was still the president. So there's a joke somewhere in there. I don't know what it is.
He's living rent free.
Not really. To be fair, he's living rent free in everybody's house right now. You can't have good, bad, or otherwise. He's the type of president that's just there. You know, yeah, he did amazing things, still rent free. He did this, still rent free. So, with that being said, he is an icon that lives rent free in majority of this world's mind. No, I did not get to keep the cow. And granted, for those in the food service, will tell you no, because the moment you hit it, if the bladder bursts or anything of that nature in the blood, it just sours the meat. There's only two parts of the cow that could have been saved, either the tongue or the tail. And cutting off the tail on a cow that just died seems kind of, I don't want to say asinine.
Disrespectful, maybe.
So yeah. So it
Oh, I was
basically,
gonna say, there is one other part of the cow you could save. The head, you mount it, put it, in your in your den somewhere.
I was thinking from an edible point of view, but no, you're not wrong.
I mean, it would make a hell of a conversation piece, right?
Oh, no, trying to tell people, yes, I hit a black cow. How do you hit a cow? Well, when one gets loose out of the fence and it's a dark night, things tend to happen. So I'm dealing with a headache that just doesn't want to stop. I'm going to be seeing my doctor here tomorrow, I think. Yeah. So that's my weekend. Hopefully this guy had a better weekend than I did.
Oh yeah, living the dream, man. Put out a couple of really good videos. Did a nice interview one-on-one with Doc Flamingo earlier today, this evening, about his new game, Age of Blood and Iron, which is looks like it's going to be a fun game. Not entirely, up my alley, so to speak. But I also reviewed the Red Room Savage Swords, which is a little more my speed, but you know me, I'm a high fantasy guy. But I am going to dip my toe into some lower fantasy to see what I can do in the coming months or next year.
I like gaming in systems I'm not exactly comfortable in because it's like working a muscle. It's adding, work because you can get flabby on just playing your high fantasy games for years. You know all the rules, all the outcome. You can autopilot it.
But I don't think it's really uh, limited to high fantasy. I think really any game, if you're playing Traveler or Call of Cthulhu
Right, any
nonstop,
game. If you play this basically the same game, not system because systems do vary, but the same game for X amount of years, you can just phone it in. It's autopilot. Going to a different game system that you don't exactly know or are comfortable
well,
with.
the genre makes a big difference too. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of our friends really, especially in our sort of Gen X and a little bit before era, and maybe it's more of a uh, like hardcore gamer mindset where folks want to play lots of new games or lots of different games throughout the course of, let's say, a year. Like a butterfly from this game to the next game to the next game, never quite settling on one. I've noticed that sort of syndrome with a lot of people we know. They don't really want to play the same thing very often, and I've literally narrowed it down to like two types of people. People who just want to play the one game and that's it. They're good. They never need to play another game. They'll be fine. Versus the people that want to get in as many different games as they possibly can. I'm obviously the latter category because I really don't think there is one game that I could just play forever. I think if for some reason that came, that had to be the thing, I could only play one game. I'm on a desert island or something. I think I would stop playing for long periods of time and find other things to do than to just play the one game. So I'm fortunate enough, as you can see, I've got hundreds of games to choose from. Unfortunately, I don't have hundreds of different players who want to keep playing the new thing that I want to play. This last year alone,
you have a built-in player. You have a built-in player at home.
Oh, he hasn't played a game in well over a year. He's kind of, he's a senior this year, so he's got other things that he wants to do.
No. Because when I first met you, he was a freshman.
Yesterday, as a matter of fact, was, I believe, our 5th anniversary.
Ours?
No, my channel.
Okay. Because he was a freshman. I'm more positive he was a freshman. Then again, we've been... No. Maybe. I don't know. It feels like we've been doing this for a while, though.
Well over 3 years. And heck, it's been almost 2 years since Gatekeepers and Table Breakers folded up. Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, my daughter is starting her freshman year of high school, and I'm like, how is it that my daughter is a freshman? Because I still picture her, being no bigger than a roasted chicken, she's, sitting on my chest or laying on my chest. I mean, that's my mental, I'm Dad, I just turned 15. I'm like, no, you didn't. No.
I'm gonna have to double check because it could have, because he started when he was 11. Maybe this is our 6th year. Oh my God, where does the damn time go? I'll have to double check.
Out the bloody window. So, yeah, sorry I haven't been around much. Life has just been life.
Shit happens. Shit happens. You got my number. You can call any old time. You don't have to do this, No.
We need to. Yeah, no, I get that. Let's see what else is new.
I will warn you though, if you don't hurry up and get your movie review show, I'm gonna make one, and then what do you do?
Then I'll still do mine. You do yours, and we'll just review each other's and tell each other what they're doing wrong.
Your opinion's wrong.
It's a battle. It's a battle. It's not the battle of the bands. It's the battle of the movie reviewers.
Yeah, we'll get Bruce in on it. I think that's going to be funny, especially since Bruce also is supposed to be one of the Three Musketeers when we do the Three Musketeers thing. I've noticed he's already started growing something different here, so I hope that's anticipation. Although I think that he could absolutely rock the curly mustache if he gave it half a chance. Yeah.
I was speaking of just old shows like Musketeers and stuff like that. I saw the pilot episode of Wild Wild West, the old black and white.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you come across that?
One of my friends have access to like 1,000 shows, and
Baron?
That was, what?
Baron?
Not Baron, but the same program. And I'm like, wow, they just don't make shows like this anymore. I mean, I don't know if a show like that. There's aspects of that show that would not do well with today's audience, but there's still a lot of good.
Oh my God. I was I don't have it here, but I just finished reviewing the Savage Sword of Conan, the omnibus, which is a bunch of the magazines put into a hardcover book. And oh my God, there were some subtle little things that I could just absolutely see a certain part of the population just oh hating on that like you've never seen before.
Oh yeah,
Just
I
absolutely just losing their shit, as well as aspects of the Red Room's Savage Swords game, which does its you know stellar best at recreating that sort of environment, that sort of feel of Robert E. Howard's works, in game form. And in the 1930s, while some of the things he wrote about would have been controversial for different reasons, the stuff that people would freak out about now weren't all that controversial back then.
different era. I mean, not everything is meant for everybody, and it's definitely generate. There's a. I'm fairly relaxed when it comes to movies. I mean, I'll watch anything once unless Jack picks it up. It just no. He burnt that bridge for me. Xena, not Xena. Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But that was another movie I watched last night. Not Aliens, but Star Trek Troopers.
It's a great movie.
And that movie, except for a minor technical issue with like, because it was like one of the not the original CGI, but it was still
Early, yeah.
early. If you just like tweak that a little bit, that show is. I mean, it's a great show. They should have just stopped at one, not made three of those movies, but just the one.
I've never seen the others, but yeah, I've heard mixed things. But it was,
the
perfect movie.
The computer generated show that they had on
Cartoon, if you will,
was really good.
I've heard that. I've actually got some of the miniatures that my friend Grim gave me, brand new in the box, sealed, things from the movie, the cartoon, what have you. And I played around with them. I still got them right here, needing to be finished. But it's another thing I gotta try and pick up. I was actually watching Space Above and Beyond last week.
I know that one.
That was a good show. I mean, a little hokey, a couple of little things, but it could have really had Fox in its infinite wisdom not canceled it. It could have gone the distance. Easy 7 years or more.
Oh, Firefly, being another one of those shows. If it wasn't, excuse the term, aborted, when as young as it was, maybe not 7 seasons, but a good 5 seasons would have been a healthy run.
Bare minimum 4, and it's a shame because after that, Fillion went and did Castle. Loved that show. There was a lot of great things about that show. It was a lot of fun. None of the woke nonsense. And I went out and I picked up The Rookie, which he's co-producing or whatever. He's got his hand in it, like Alan Alda. And of course, once you get one of the stars involved, you just ruin whatever it was you were working on. And first season was fun. It was okay. There's some good characters. Even through season whatever, I stopped. I think I stopped at season 4 or 5, and I said, nope, I just can't. I'm done with being preached to and lectured to, and it's just.
Speaking of Nathan Falloway, did you see Superman yet? Did you see The Man of Steel? The new, really good, and it annoys me.
Why?
I like Zack Snyder's. There's aspects of the Zack Snyder's Superman I really enjoyed. The fact that he made Superman a grown up, not the gee whiz, fresh out the farm, just happy. No, Andy Griffin show Superman, but an actual grown up. Right. He made Superman an actual grown up. We've gone back to the gee whiz Superman. And I'm like, no. I love everything else. Don't take a step back. Make Superman a grown up. At least personality wise.
I can see. You remember that movie with Kevin Spacey, Scumbag of the Earth, K-Pax?
Yeah.
I could see wanting to have some of that naivete in either Clark Kent or even in Superman's personality to an extent, but at some point he will grow up.
I'm not asking for Injustice, that story. I'm not asking. I mean, it'd be great, but I'm not asking for that. I just want Superman to be a grown up. He is the comic book wise. He is, other than a little green rock and a little bit of magic, he's damn near unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like giving. I don't want to use this analogy too uselessly. It's like giving a 18-year-old who has no business with a gun, just too childish. He has, and I think we need to stay away from that and not go back to that. Does that make sense for you?
Here's the thing. Believe it or not, I was just watching a video that kind of ties into this about comic books and the tier system, if you will. What comics are, S, A, B through F tier. Okay. Where do you think Superman falls?
A tier being out as the best of the best?
The best selling, the most popular through and through always.
If he's not an A, he's a solid B.
C.
Really? Because, going out in public, which I recommend everybody to go touch some grass.
It's down there, but okay.
Well, I'm in the basement, so it's technically.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But
it's just not that popular anymore.
I see kids. The kids. These are the superheroes I see kids wear the most of: Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman. I mean, granted,
Spidey, Batman, and X-Men are like the S tier. Just consistently, and X-Men it tops them all. Believe it or not, when it comes to what does the best.
X-Men. I like the X-Men, but at the same time, I like grittier comic books. The Crow when it came out. Neil Gaiman's Sandman when it came out.
Yeah,
I liked it. I like his books. I like his.
No, we were just talking about it. Those comic books, according to a friend of ours, have taken a serious hit lately.
Oh, because it's not the comic books that took. It's not because of the comic books. It's because of the author is a reason why they took the hit.
I really don't keep up on some of that stuff. I have the first 12 or so. Looking for a new home for them because supposedly they were at one time worth a pretty penny.
And my birthday's coming up.
Not for your birthday, but we're talking thousands of dollars, pal. So,
oh well, I'll take that Trask that you painted.
Yeah, that's not leaving. No, I if I can find you another one, we'll see.
But no, I'm just saying. I started reading. I had learning disabilities. Go fucking figure. And reading was always a little bit of reading and math. Just don't translate it in my head. If I see it if I'm watching it on a screen or somebody shows me how to do it, I can comprehend. If somebody reads it to me, I can comprehend. But reading it myself, I just couldn't read. I ADD with translexia and dyslexia and a few other things. So my grandpa, realizing that his grandson had problems reading, gave me a stack of comic books. I didn't get Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat. I got Spider-Man. I got Batman. I got Superman. And I think, Bear is a really great person for this conversation. But me personally, I think the level of your comic book needs to mature with you. So when it came in,
for a lot of us, that was just it. Just did that naturally, organically. As we grew up, so did they through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But come, I want to say the 90s, they were pretty much, they may as well have had an age bracket on the cover.
Oh, well, you got Ant-Man beating the shit out of the Wasp. You got Tony Stark being a raging alcoholic.
I have that issue.
I liked how they gave our heroes flaws.
Mm-hmm.
They made him more human. I mean,
Speedy being a heroin junkie.
Yeah.
I just found out about that last night. I'm like, you're shitting me.
No,
I missed out on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Superman's marriage falling apart because
Spider-Man, same thing, was retarded. There's some things you don't. They're literally sacred cows you don't mess with, and they did. Jean Grey and Cyclops, Mary Jane, Peter Parker.
Well,
Lois and Clark.
Cyclops, Scott Summer, and Jean Grey is an interesting couple, and I tell you what, I 75% agree with you, 75%. But adding in Wolverine into this triangle,
that was purely done the same way it was done in like Next Generation and a lot of TV shows, that they couldn't come up with anything better. They couldn't find someone who was more Wolverine's
equal
soulmate.
Wolverine's gone. The only person that Wolverine, the two women that Wolverine would say be soulmate or whatever, Sabretooth either knocked off or they weren't really in love to begin with. Because
what about that Asian girl with the ninjas and stuff? I could have swore she was like the one.
He gets in her brother Silver Samurai, I think, and it's been a while.
Yeah,
the Silver Samurai, I think it's her brother. Anyways, him and Wolverine weren't getting along, and just the fiction between the brother and Wolverine.
I know the one I was thinking of. I could have swore she was killed.
She was. Well, she's not. She wasn't killed. She was hurt, and he thought she was dead. Then she became Lady Deathstrike.
Okay, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Maybe not. But Jean Grey is, just it wouldn't have even actually happened in any kind of real life. He was like 5'2". She was 6 foot. She had been with her
for nothing lasts forever. I mean, they grew up. They were high school sweethearts in theory. I mean,
well, yeah, in every conceivable way. It was just ridiculous how they did that, and it made no sense whatsoever. Now I get in the alternate universe that X-Men veered off for like a year or more when I stopped buying X-Men because of it. It was a completely different universe, and that's where it started, where they went, hey, let's do this. And I'm like,
different universe, different rules.
Right. They wanted to do that, and for whatever reason, they got it stuck in their head that they were going to break up that relationship to do that.
Wolverine hooks up with Storm. Wolverine hooks up with Jean Grey. Wolverine hooks up with everybody because he's a whore, because he's a short king.
Yeah, that was the only way that works, is if it was in the MCU and what's his name was playing Wolverine.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. Then I believe it. But when you go back and you look at what Wolverine was and always was, there are very few women that would ever have actually hooked up with him.
It was his animal magnetism.
Yeah. That same animal magnetism these days would get him canceled quicker than Firefly.
It's like the Punisher, Frank Castle. He might have a momentary love interest, but maybe
he was literally like the Conan of the Marvel, universe, superhero universe. He just no. He came, he did his thing, if there was a chance to get a little trim in there, he would have. And then later there was just no place in that lifestyle
Right. I saw
for
the
any
fantastic.
length of time.
I saw the Fantastic Four movie. There's aspects of it I really enjoyed. They paid a lot of respect to old school Fantastic Four comic books.
It definitely had that Jetsons look to it, which I kind of appreciated. But
They showed some of the old school villains that you don't really see anymore. You remember, I think it was the first issue where they had that Gargantua or whatever the hell that thing was called coming out of the street, and they were fighting it.
with the Mole Man,
They had the Mole Man, but yeah, I mean, they paid and it wasn't an origin story, which I'm tired of them doing origin stories. Just
yeah, it is one of the things that helped crush the genre in the last couple of, let's say, the last decade. That really, um, but you got to understand that I totally get why they do it, because they don't know who has and who hasn't, you know, kept up with that particular superhero, who's aware of their origin, and etc. I was watching Matt Walsh. He had no fucking clue, who the hell they were in any way, shape, or form. And while I respect a lot of his opinions, when it comes to superheroes, he's got his head so far up his ass.
Wait, who is this?
Matt Walsh.
Okay.
I almost just to the point of obtuseness that it almost seems like it's fake. Like, oh, I'm too macho, blah blah blah, to have ever spent one second reading an actual comic book. Oh, well, that's because
Yeah.
your parents didn't love you enough, and didn't give you a couple of bucks every week for your allowance, and you did the things that just about every kid does at least once. If you
I could
haven't,
buy a comic book from anywhere from $3 to $5 as a kid. That's how cheap they were growing up. Now
wait,
they're
they were $3 to $5 when you were a kid.
yeah.
What are they now? Like 80?
It's been a while since I picked up a comic book. I don't say anywhere from like 9 to 10.
You got to be shitting me. No wonder they can't.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I bought an actual
Because
comic
I could
book.
have swore a couple of years ago I picked up one a Spider-Man 2099 for Jack, and I shit a brick when it was $5 and it was just a regular newsstand edition. When I was a kid, they were less than a quarter.
I get how I get how they do need to raise the price on comic books to a certain degree.
No, they don't. They need to go back to newsprint.
Yeah, but you know how many people actually sit down and read the newspaper anymore?
No, what I mean is that kind of paper.
Oh. Yeah. I don't.
There's no need for the thick covers. I appreciate it sometimes on a special edition, that sort of thing, but they were meant to be disposable, and turning them all into collector's items the minute they come out has done grievous damage to the hobby of collecting. That's one of the reasons why there are only 40 between 40 and 50 actual copies of the first appearance of Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, because all of the rest of the hundreds of thousands of those were thrown in the garbage. And that's why you'll never come across one in the wild. You will not go to a convention and see a detective at 27, 26, whatever it is. You'll never see it. You'll never see one.
Well, a mom bought a comic book. Mom or dad had an extra little change in her pocket. The kid's been good at school this week. I'm going to buy him a comic book. He takes him the comic book. The kid reads it. It gets put on it gets put somewhere. Something gets spilled on it. Kids are kids. Now, as an adult, when we buy something to collect, we look at a whole lot different than
right. But at those prices, let's just say they're $750, right? That right off the bat, that's not like the equivalent of buying a hamburger and fries. That's like you're buying something that you should probably take care of a little better than just throwing it, the back seat of the car. It warrants putting it in the bag and board, the condom, and putting it on the shelf properly so that you could read it again and again and again if you so choose, as opposed to, it's pocket change and, no big deal. Roll it up, throw it in your back pocket, read it, in between classes, hand it off to your buddy. He hands it off to another guy, that kind of thing. At the way they've sort of turned the entire industry into a purely for collectors hobby.
Right.
It used. I mean, think about it this way: when I was growing up, I could go to almost any store, literally almost any store in the world, and pick up a comic book. I could go to the liquor store, the grocery store. I could go to some hardware stores, department stores, every kind of store you could think of, except, maybe sporting goods stores. And even then, there was a chance they might have had, like Archie and Jughead comics at the register, which they still have to this day.
All right. I just looked this up. The single issue commonly is anywhere from $3.99 to $5.99.
Okay, but that's still a little heavy compared to what, if they were to revert to the same materials they used to use,
Yeah.
for a regular comic book, it would cut the prices minimum in half. I mean, even like Time magazine and things of that ilk, People magazine, they're sometimes $20,
Yeah. Well.
and those have literally no collector value whatsoever. None. I can't even believe there's still, you know,
Oh, I can.
available.
I can. Well, look at Playboy. We're veering off from comic books. Look at Playboy. Playboy was very much the first of its kind. It has some. It's one of the first. I'm not saying it's the first. I'm just saying it's, for what they did. It wasn't just a nudie magazine. They actually had interviews and things in it that were worth reading.
That wasn't unique to it, but I know what you're getting at, and that was also something you couldn't just get anywhere. It was always, up until the 70s, it was behind the counter. You had to ask for it.
Well, within the last 12, no, my daughter's just turned 15. So within the last couple years, I couldn't give you an exact date. After Hugh Hefner passed away, and we're not getting into Hugh Hefner, granted, he did a
Bill
lot.
Maher's dad?
What?
Bill Maher's dad?
Yeah, he did a lot for the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped making physical issues for a while now. I've heard rumblings that they're going back to physical copies, but the women are not going to be. It's going to be more like a bathing suit. I mean, a lingerie type stuff. They're not going to be completely new.
Who the hell is that for?
I have no idea.
Nobody's going to want that. Not to promote it in any way, shape, or but from a purely marketing standpoint, that's pointless.
So, with that being said, you have to pay the models, you have to pay the photographer, you have to pay the interviewer. No, yeah, the person who's doing the interview. Then you got to pay. I mean,
you pay for the story, so to speak, and that a lot of things are in that. When you're talking about the photography end of it, that's different, and you'd be surprised how many models back in the day didn't actually get paid,
which is a shame because they should have got paid. Anyways, and what I'm saying, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Things change.
Absolutely. That's weird. I honestly thought it was still available at like 7-Elevens and things like that, but it was bagged and things like that, and you couldn't see the cover and stuff. That's weird. Yeah.
Me, it was Fredericks of Hollywood, but I understand.
Sure.
Comic books, man, you gotta pay if they go back to old school drawing, inking, and storyline, those artists need to get paid. The storyteller needs to get paid.
Yeah, but they should be on salary.
I
Period.
agree. Either way, they need to get paid. They need to get paid for the quality of work that they are doing. They're not at Mickey D's flipping burgers. They're telling a story. They're drawing it out. That is,
Mhm.
honest to God, that's real work.
Mhm.
And putting it on high gloss, high thick paper is cutting into the profit for, I'm sure, the artist and the storytellers. Going back to newspaper style one, it'd be interesting. And then again, most comic books are not hand drawn anymore. It's somebody sitting at a laptop, which I'm not saying is not art.
No, but it
It's
makes everything significantly easier, and you often end up with fewer people with their hand in the cookie jar. In the old days, you had a letterer, a penciler, an inker, a colorist, uh, the writer or writers, the editor, etc. That's six or more people. So yeah,
I mean, I feel like this is definitely a conversation that we need Bear for because he's in, he's doing his
well,
own game out there where he's paying artists to come up and draw and create,
yeah, but that's not the same thing. When you're writing a comic book, I've actually written one, and I did everything. I did except the lettering, which was just penciled in. I was looking for a letterer. Um, it's a totally different thing than making a superhero RPG.
hmm,
You're leaving out the story. I mean, you're going to put some story in it, but you're more focused on the layout, the rules, mechanics, etc., which don't translate into I need 50 images for a 28 page book.
yeah. I think with
You're
Bear's
looking at one
situation,
page per you're looking at one or two images per page, not 8.
I don't. I mean, with a lot of the RPG books, I definitely agree with that. I have a feeling though, dollars to donuts, that each one of the characters that Bear has created has at least 2 novels worth of background to him.
Sure, sure.
So, but I understand what you're saying, and
We're not saying that he can't do it because he did. I've read
yeah,
both of the comic books he did. They weren't the best or worst that I've ever read. I would like to see more of them, but he's not going to do that, which is a shame because um,
well,
in the circles that we're in, creating something entirely of your own out of nothing is is the apogee of what we do. You know, being able to say and put your name on a thing, a physical book or module or something like that. That that means more. Literally in the philosophy of uh, RPG design, that's part of it. If you want to be a true master, you got to get something published, whether it's self or otherwise. You're not until you've gotten to that point of literally making something that you can hand to other people and go, "What do you think?" As opposed to, "Did you guys have fun tonight?" Two different things.
yeah.
And
Well, Jade, I give Jade when he was running his campaign, not out of Index RPG, which I'm not saying that's not a good system, but
it's a very
all
impressive game.
yeah, but his when he was using D&D or Pathfinder, all his background, his world, to a certain degree, is incredibly fleshed out. To like, if he had the time or the energy, if not both, to actually make it into a novel, it'd be
Right.
interesting to
That's the
read.
thing, though. How many of those, thousands of pages did you guys ever encounter or even know about what was going on? All that is wasted until it's printed out for the masses, or
Yeah,
limited. He could do that. He until he does that, he's only he's at like step 3, tier like 3 or 4 out of, let's say, 5 to be a master. You got to do the other thing, and uh, he probably never will. I hope he does. I miss him. It's been, like I said, almost 2 years since I've even seen
Yeah, Jade's
his
life.
name in
Jade
print.
is how should I'll put it the way he is. Life is continually kicking him in the dick right now.
That either he's making bank and about to buy his second and third house, or he is getting bent over.
We well, I would say it's more option B. But he's one of my favorite people. Bruce is one of my favorite people. You're one of my
Yeah,
favorite people.
they're all good people, but uh,
Did you freeze? Did I freeze? I hope I didn't freeze. All right. Well,
you know, Jade, am I back?
yeah. I was
Okay,
wondering if that was me or you. I was
that
like,
was both of us. Yeah, that was weird. Maybe we got hit with an EMP somewhere. Hopefully, New York. If he had continued doing what he was doing, uh, I'm not saying he could have retired, but he might have been able to, cut some hours out, or at least, added some years to his life by being able to, have time in his life that wasn't just pure work. Um,
the problem with being a starving artist is you're starving.
yeah, but without that, you aren't really an artist.
I
You're a
don't
graphic
disagree
designer.
with that, but there is, sometimes the price is just rough.
Yep,
I mean,
yep. That's why I have so much reverence for the things from before your time and even before my time, because they had to work for every single, not just penny, but every accolade, every pat on the back. They had to work like we can't even imagine anymore. We've become so spoiled in the
oh,
last 60 years compared to the turn of the previous century. The 1912,
speaking of
19.
artists, that was another thing the Fantastic Four movie did really well. They paid a lot of honor to Jack Kirby. With most,
Had they, how you'd literally have to be one of the biggest assholes ever to not do that. I just saw a story today. Did you know that the San Diego Comic Con was started by a couple of kids in their basement who happened to live near Jack Kirby? And he said, "Oh, you want to do a Comic Con here in Orange County, my old stomping ground, so to speak?" He was their first guest, showed them how to do it, and now they went from their first con had 300 people to now 130,000.
yeah, if you don't have your tickets within the first 10 seconds, you're screwed.
Yeah, I think it's you might have a little more time than that. If they're selling out 130,000 tickets, they're probably like keeping those doors open, the ticket window, excuse me, open
Yeah.
for days. Because if they, I mean, think about it. You can make 130,000 sales. You're going to shoot for 140. Just
Oh
saying.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What
No,
half a quarter of a million? Yeah, bring them in. Sure. And that to me that just proves that the hobby of comics, which is one of the reasons, not that particular reason, but one of the reasons I'm glad I've gotten back into it, even though it was completely unintentional. I just wanted to read some of the old books that I had, and looking for them in my collection is a nightmare. So I started just buying things instead of going through 15, 20 boxes of comics. I'll just go buy a copy of whatever. And then I'm like, what the shit? It's $100 for that. I know I got it somewhere. I'll just
yeah.
find a really low grade copy. You know,
I like
or
it
or
from
found that
comic.
some of the stuff that I loved isn't
Yeah,
worth shit. You know,
it's worth something to you, but
yeah.
sometimes I'll go to our local comic book store, and if there is a storyline that's been out for a while, they'll turn into just one great big graphic collection, graphic novel, and
Lucky
I'll
guy.
just buy those. Buying individual comic books, I love the idea, but sometimes it's just nice to get the complete collection and call it a day.
I've been doing that, or at least similar to that on eBay. I've picked up nice big chunks that allow me to have extras, so that I can put the good ones away. And in the case of one comic book that I'm a big fan of, I'm going to be giving away the extras to one of my DMs, our good friend George, because I want him to kind of get some inspiration or see if he can find some inspiration in it for a game that he's going to be running us through.
Actually, and I'm definitely stealing this from the graphic novel Sandman, but I want to play Sandman. I think it'd be interesting, and you don't get all the powers all at once. You get them as you level. It's not, you get the ability, what all his powers. I don't know all of his powers offhand, but you break them off. You get one every 5 levels. Because I mean,
I don't even look at like superhero games. I don't really see it as needing the 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 leveling mechanism so much. I see it more as, I can't believe I'm saying this, but more of a milestone thing, not in the traditional manner, but big things happen in a character's life, different from everybody else because it's not a team thing. Even if
well,
it's a team thing, it's not. Everybody's milestones are different.
right.
You have
And
these
let's take Superman. Let's take Superman for example. You get to play Superman. Okay, I'm all powerful. No, 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 no. We're going back to the time where yes,
you could just leap a tall building.
in a single bound. He
Yeah,
doesn't fly. He doesn't have all the powers that he has of today. He only has he has a high strength. He has the ability to jump. That he can't fly.
invulnerability.
He is bulletproof. And just start off with that. Yes, he can still get hurt. He can still get pounded down. But that's the beginning block. Then as the story continues, you get a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit
Because
more.
let's face it, right off the bat, it's kind of baked into the mechanics that you start off completely different, if not better, in ways than the normal average citizen.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about I need 38 XP to get to the next level. You're already greater than 99% of the population.
Right.
So shut up. Do
Right.
be the character, not the sheet. What would your
Hawkeye.
character do?
Let's go with somebody who doesn't have superpowers. Let's say Hawkeye. You're already an amazing archer, but you're not the best archer, out there. Then,
Actually, Hawkeye has had a pretty weird career. He was like Goliath for a while.
oh yeah,
He was like a bunch of different superheroes that people don't really
Ronin for a hot
realize.
second.
Yeah,
Yeah, but moral of the story is go play more games.
yeah, yeah. I'm actually working on a superhero, not a game, but just a story. Like very very similar in a way to Heroes, but with some twists that I hope will let me run a lot of the traditional tropes in superhero games like aliens and things like that. How do you do that without it being like um the entire world now changes?
right.
You know what I mean?
Uh,
They disclose UFOs are real. You can see them every day. Everything fucking changes. Everything. How do you do that without having the everything changes and some other common like storylines that do this through any good comic company. I've
okay,
heard he has
hold
a
on.
new power that makes him resistant to kryptonite, but if he uses it, it strips him of his powers and he slowly gains them back.
If you go back to the early 2000s, there's a
I don't
comic
know.
book strip. There's a comic book story called Kingdom Come, where
Okay.
Superman is a great deal older, and he realized his issues with kryptonite wasn't that physically affected him, which it did, but it was all a mental thing. Once he was able to figure out,
That's
oh
retarded.
shit, there
That's
was a
totally
mental
retarded.
thing. He can just look at it and fling it across the street. And he has the ability. He absorbs sun. He is a great big sun panel. He just absorbs. That's where he gets all his energy from the sun. He has a power. I don't remember exactly what it's called.
He gets this funky high from a yellow sun.
Right, but he can basically go off like a bomb. It doesn't kill him. It releases all the energy that's stored up in him, and he has some of his powers, but it takes him like 24 hours, 48 hours, depending on how big the boom is, to be able to get back to where he originally was. He got drunk. Superman has never been able to get drunk because his system just says, alcohol, yeah, whatever. But once he does this solar blast, solar whatever they call it, it weakens him enough where he can get drunk. It doesn't last that long. I thought that was kind of novel. Superman's not
I
human.
suppose after, cruising up on 1,000 issues a month,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point the well's gonna start to run dry, and you're gonna toss out some stinker stories out there.
I mean, they've made every kind of color kryptonite out there. Pink turns him gay. Red makes him a rage monster. Green makes him sick. Silver, I think, strips him of his powers momentarily. Gold strips him of his powers longer. I mean, they've done the gauntlet of
I've never even heard of anything but the red and green. I stopped reading Superman the year the death of Superman story was resolved. Like, okay, cool, done.
That was an interesting story. I remember having a copy of that.
I've still got 9 sealed copies of the black bagged issue.
That's worth some money.
I know. I literally tried to mentally calculate what I'm looking at. I could literally probably buy 2 more houses.
Or your comic book store.
That's kind of the plan.
Sorry, Jack, you got to pay for your own college. Dad's opening up a comic book store.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's some serious freaking money in that shit. I was just blown away. I thought, maybe,
oh God,
10,
if
20,
I knew my He-Man toys back in the day were going to be bangers. If I knew my Ninja Turtle original spread was going to be bangers, but we don't know this as kids. It's a toy. I want to play with it, or I want to read it.
I told this story earlier today. I got the head start when I was about 8. I went to a swap meet while my dad was doing his gun show thing, and I bought a comic book, and I tried to give the guy like 15 cents because that's the cover price of it. He's like, "No, man, look at the sticker. It's like 50 cents or 25 cents." And I'm like, "Why?" And he explained the whole thing about comic books. And from that moment on, I still have every single comic book I've ever purchased except 2, and they were stolen. Well, I loaned them to someone who then said they lost them, and I knew damn well I didn't lose them. One was the Joker's first solo comic book, which it has got to be worth a fucking unbelievable amount of money.
What was that 76, 75?
Yeah, it's probably up in the thousands of dollars.
No, not money wise. I'm thinking year wise.
Oh yeah, definitely early 70s, mid to late 70s possibly. And then a #1 issue of Moon Knight, which I managed to get another copy later on, but I know that one's sometimes a couple $100.
Moon Knight would be another interesting character to try to play.
He's literally my second favorite Marvel character.
I like my heroes to be mildly complicated and flawed in some ways. Boy Scouts don't do it for me.
Yeah, Dr. Doom's my #1 favorite character. So when they did Doom 2099, I just freaking died, went to heaven.
Yeah, Doom. That's a tragic story. Doom's background is just tragic. Some of my favorite comic book heroes came out of the 90s.
Did you ever read Wildcats?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I saw an AI thing. I'll see if I can find it for you. Someone was, pretending that it was the trailer for the new Wildcats movie. I just about lost it. And I went, "Oh, it's AI. This is fake." Still, you got me, and it was great. Oh my god, that would so sell like fucking crazy at the theater. I would
Now,
literally go and see that.
Wildcats is not DC, but they're DC.
DC acquired it
Like,
later. It was Image, and it was even the cartoon wasn't bad. It was it was
who was the character? He wore a red mask.
Grifter.
That was always one of my favorites. And the
He was a
women in
fun
that
character.
comic books.
Oh yeah, Image was all about the women, just ridiculously so. I still have a Lady Death, a She #1.
Oh, Lady Death.
What was it? What was that group of superhero kids? Gen something, Gen X.
Gen X. Tell me that Lady Death wasn't a soft porn.
Oh, it absolutely was. As a matter of fact, funny story. In the last comic book store I worked at, there was a kid who came in regularly with not even softcore, but full on hand drawn, perfect, stellar images that were nasty as fuck. But you could swear that he was the original artist.
I remember Brave Star. That was a cartoon in the 80s. Another cartoon I wish they I don't want them to bring it back because I'm afraid what kind of afraid what would happen. But Pirates of the Dark Seas or Dark Water.
Yeah, I just got the DVD box set. I actually was friends with the kid who did the voice of Ren.
They all, like, not all of them, but there was a majority of that group that had some pretty gnarly deaths, if I'm remembering correctly.
I haven't watched it all.
No, not the characters, not the characters. I mean the voice actors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Because I haven't talked to Chris since a couple of years after the show. That's a shame.
Going back into, I don't want to reboot, but if you can get all the actors together that was attached to Firefly, now they're all way too old for their characters. I'm not saying that they're not.
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
But
they should have done it when they had the chance. They did. Oh yeah, it was called Serenity, and I know that just about everybody involved, they got really big, really famous, and I know that one Disney, I think, now owns the stuff, and it just leave it where it's at. I know it's a crime and a tragedy.
I wouldn't mind
anything other than maybe grabbing the comic books or writing some fan fiction or checking out the
I wouldn't mind if they got the original cast. All the characters are still alive because Wash is dead and the preacher's dead.
Book.
Book is dead in real life and his character's dead. Wash is the actor's still kicking around, but the character died. So you get all the ones that survived, right? You put them in a sound booth, and you make a Spawn 1995 Spawn quality Firefly.
Maybe
it's not going to be great. It's by no means is it going to be as good as the original.
The biggest problem is Joss Whedon or whatever Whedon. Without him writing it, and even with him writing it, it could still be ass. Anybody else? There's nobody else who deserves that necessary, that opportunity.
Right. I agree. I'm just saying it would be. I'd watch the first couple episodes, just and if it turned out to be bangers, that'd be great.
I think what would be honestly a better tribute to that would be to make the equivalent of the Next Generation, keep the ship and do the story of these new people get the ship and they see little things, little graffiti on the walls or something, they find a journal hidden behind a panel, things like that. And
that works. Or go old school. and make it a radio program.
Nobody would listen.
I would.
You
I'm
and
sure
I would both, but nobody does that.
they do it.
The only people that do that were the people who did that, and now they're more likely to go watch Matlock instead. You know,
There's a few
and then go
graphic. There's a
yeah.
few graphic novels they turn into radio programs that forces you to use your imagine, mental theater that are just amazing.
I'll bet they did that with Doctor Who. They did that with Blake Seven, and a lot of things for the time where that was seen as a a privilege to get to listen to something like that, to whereas now it would be considered almost like homework, like a
Yeah.
chore. The people have gotten so freaking lazy when it comes to doing things the old way. I've been watching these videos of camping,
Oh,
where
camping is not even camping anymore.
yeah, well they've got these insane uh, inflatable bouncy house tents. They
Oh
just
yeah.
drop on the ground, hit the button, and it's up.
And I don't trust those. I do not trust those one bit for everything that can go wrong in nature.
Um, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a leak and it's going to collapse on you,
I've seen a
which could
tent.
kill you.
Yeah. I've seen a tent, a vinyl, not vinyl, but not just a modern tent,
Mhm.
get hit by a gust of wind and lift the poor two bastards up
Oh
into
yeah, there
the
was
air.
that famous video of the bouncy house that did that. It
Yeah.
literally was, dozens of feet in the air. Absolutely. That's why you check the weather and you stake that fucker into the ground like you're supposed to. And here's the thought: uh, check the weather. You know, if there's any kind of hint at storm type weather, you don't do that. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I was at a campsite down in Tennessee, and these people were in a tent, and not a whole tree, but a decent sized branch fell off. I mean, the branch was bigger than I am, and if they were in that tent, they would have been gone. So, I mean, there are risks to camping, but I'm not. I'd rather be staying in something a little bit more sturdier than, a blow up fucking bed as a tent. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know
Well,
that, and I'm also got to the point where I need a cot, I need a bed. Sleeping on the ground.
yeah. Which is really weird because one of the channels that I watch, they always camp on gravel. I cannot understand why. I know there's a reason, but I can't. Is it because of the traction, or is it because of
Well,
the,
depends
you
on if
know?
it's cold weather. If it's cold weather and you dig it out and you start a fire right there
No, no, no.
and you
It's like right
bury it,
on top of gravel every time.
I don't. I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but yeah, there was a YouTube channel. He just went off maybe a couple months ago. His last video for a while. Something boys. And it was this one guy going out to Alaska, lived up in Alaska,
Oh yeah,
and
and then he died,
no, he's
right?
still alive. He's still
Okay.
alive. But
Well, yeah,
I'll find a couple of his videos and I'll send it to you via
okay.
whatever.
Hey, real quick, nerdy. You piqued my interest. How could you redo the Princess Bride? Uh,
You do the
okay.
same story, but you give it the book ending, not the movie ending. That's how you
Ooh,
do it. Hey, nerdy, you want to jump in?
and yeah, I could see that. Uh,
It's a completely different. It's a completely different movie if you add.
oh yeah. Absolutely. I've got it somewhere. And yeah, I'm like, "Ew, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the movie. Kind of like The Watchmen. It's my favorite movie, and I actually prefer it over the graphic novel.
Oh, you don't like the space squids from?
It's too far fetched a
We're
hoax.
talking about we're talking about a graphic novel that had a great big blue guy who was basically God in every sense of the way. And
Right.
have
What I mean is, I find it harder to believe that Veidt could have faked the giant squid thing from another dimension and nobody would figure it out versus framing Dr. Manhattan the way they went about it in the movie. I think that makes more sense than trying to fool every scientist on the planet that this giant squid thing wasn't made in a lab, was in fact made in another dimension.
yeah.
Long time no
Yeah.
see, nerdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Oh,
Been a
your
while.
volume is loud. Or
Huh?
maybe you were just exuberant.
He-
Oh,
he's
when
got-
you came in, your volume was loud. I wasn't sure if that was exuberance or uh, volume.
How's it now?
better.
Is it-
That's-
okay,
you
yeah,
can
no.
turn it up a little. You can turn it up a little. It was just
Um,
like, whoa. I mean, I hadn't seen you in a while. And it's good to do so. But dang, it was like, shit. I might have
Well,
woke people up here.
you could actually now think about Princess Bride. Have Fred Savage reading the book to not his grandchild but his kid, because he's old
Mhm.
enough to have at least one still little kid. I mean, I don't think he's old enough to have grandchildren. I know he's a
Yeah,
tad bit
the
older.
only problem with that I find is that one, Peter Falk was a national treasure, and to cut him out of anything seems blasphemous.
The Columbo.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be cutting him out. He's like, his kid is sick. I want to tell you a story that my grandpa
Right,
told
but you
me.
would, with the way Nerdy was describing it, you cut that footage out, refilm it with Fred Savage and a new kid.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah,
It's-
no,
it's-
no.
It's exactly what it's because as Peter Falk said, it's like I read it to your dad, now I'm going to read, which I don't know why, it's like why it wasn't Fred
dad in the
Savage's
picture?
dad, but
Why wasn't the dad in the picture? Because the dad's never in any family unless they're making a.
I like to think
oh,
that it was the middle of a work day and Dad was at work.
Yeah,
There
but
you
even
go.
back then they were undermining the nuclear family. So
But-
we'll see.
Like
Yeah.
I said, I like to think of it just Dad was at work.
Yeah.
yeah.
You could. I mean,
But it could still totally work, just kind of as Fred Savage. I don't even know how old he is.
He's probably in his 50s.
he's older than I am. I know that much. I know he's just not that much older than I am. And the fact that not Fred Savage, but his younger brother, Ben Savage. I can't think of his younger brother, but his younger brother was in that TV show Boy Meets World. Anyway, he kind of looks like he could be the grandchild of Manny. The guy with the sword. You killed my father.
Manny Patinkin.
Yeah, there's enough facial features there where they could look like father and son or grandfather and whatever. But yeah, it's just weird how much those two they look alike and they're not related.
I find it weirder how much of a prima donna Mandy Patinkin seems to be behind the camera.
He's an
But
actor.
every character he's ever played has been so beloved, from the character on CSI, I think it was,
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds, Princess Bride. Hell, even in Dead Like Me, he stole every scene he was in.
I think he can eat up. He can eat up a scene. He can definitely eat up a scene.
Hell, even in what was that alien movie that he was in where he played George San Francisco?
Oh,
Alienation.
yes.
Alienation.
I don't know. I've seen him. He had his son
He was
like recording him like their day-to-day life every so often. It'd end up like on TikTok or something, and I think I wonder if he's one person when it's just day-to-day life, and he's another person when it comes to work. We all wear a different mask for who we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And would I sit down and have a coffee with him or a cup of tea? Hell yeah. He's got stories I want to hear. Well, if he comes on another TV show or a movie, am I going to watch it because he's in it?
Maybe.
Most likely.
But I mean, the crazy thing is look at Danny DeVito. I mean, has the guy ever played a character that wasn't a general asshole?
Yes.
What movie? What show?
Oh,
Yeah, you got to think hard on it.
he's normally typecast as being a smartass, and I will give you that. But he did do a
Not an
movie.
out-and-out ass.
What?
If not an out and out ass, other than
Right.
maybe Throw Mama from the Train.
No, he was sleazy. He wasn't an ass. He was
I
definitely.
thought he was
sleazy.
more like almost slow.
Was that the one with? Oh,
He was a bit of a. Well, go ahead.
the one who flew off the cuckoo's nest.
Okay.
I didn't know he was in that one. I've never seen it.
That was early days. That was like right
Yeah.
after Taxi.
Yeah, that was before he'd even. Yeah, before Taxi and before
But-
he'd been.
Yeah.
Or right
carrying-
after Taxi. It was in that era.
The point is, it's like Danny DeVito is like whenever you think Danny DeVito, first thing you think of is a jerk, because that's, I mean, at some level, that's the
I
kind of
like
character he
him,
plays in.
No,
But
he did 2 movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I enjoy both of them for different reasons. Twins,
Twins.
and the one where Arnie
Junior.
got pregnant,
Junior,
and he
I
wasn't
didn't see that one.
an asshole in Junior.
right. He was a decent guy in Junior. I forgot about that one.
It was a weird fucking movie.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's like by and large, whenever you think of Danny DeVito and his iconic characters that he's played, they're on some level a jerk. They may have a redemption story, and maybe he may by the end redeem himself. But
I think certain actors get typecast just because of how they look.
Well, absolutely.
I
Right.
Look at Larry Linville from MASH. He can never
But-
get another decent part ever again after playing Major Burns.
yeah.
Look
Well,
at
he kinda
Horseback
stepped on
from
his-
Welcome Back, Cotter.
He-
Same
he-
thing.
He kind of stepped
Really
on his own dick with MASH though. Oh no, I can do better out there. I'm going to leave the show.
No, you're thinking of the other guy, Colonel Blake.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Blake. Oh, Burns. Burns was tragic because his character was never allowed to grow.
Well, not
Where-
only that, from all accounts I know, including my old man who knew him, he was like one of the sweetest guys you'd ever met.
Who was that guy from Three's Company your family was friends with?
John Ritter.
I love seeing him being the clumsy dad. I love seeing him be the smart ass. Then watch him in Bride of Chucky where he's just an outright bad guy was so fucking refreshing.
You probably never saw him in Hero at Large.
Yes, I saw him in Here on Large.
Okay. Not too many people remember that one. I actually had the paperback book. I loved it so much.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
He's another one of those actors. I have somewhat of a
An
list.
absolute first class human being.
I'm not saying I want to have a beer with Sean Connery, but I would love to shake the guy's hand. Because it's Sean Connery.
Yeah. I would definitely mark that as a in the win category. An epic moment.
But John
to be
Ritter,
fair, I think he was a little overrated.
I don't completely disagree.
But by
Well, he was born.
by everything I've heard about Danny DeVito is like behind the scenes, he is one of the nicest guys. Like complete opposite of the roles that he's.
Oh yeah,
known
I've
for.
heard that too.
Yeah.
When he did Matilda,
Right? Yeah,
that
Matilda.
movie Matilda, he ended up the girl's mom. I don't know the entire story. Turns out not to be a great person, and he helped raise the young lady who played Matilda, and put her.
Okay.
through
I
college.
don't even know what you're actually talking about.
I heard-
I'm guessing the kids movie.
Yeah,
I was a kid when it came out, so
yeah.
Okay.
But the story that I heard is that her mom had cancer,
Oh,
and that
okay.
he had a after everything was done, he had a special screening of the movie for her family, so her mom could see her little girl on the big screen.
I can believe that.
That sounds
Yeah.
incredibly sad. Because I'm guessing it didn't end well for the mom.
The story I heard, she ended up dying,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
but she got to see her little girl. And that now I can't, that's the story I've heard. I've heard
Neither
it
one of
repeated
us were
several
there.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Love to meet Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, I want to have a beer with. I would have a 12 pack.
Just from what I hear, you just got to you take the right bus in downtown LA, you'll bump into him.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if I believe that shit.
No, it's true. It is very much true. He lives.
Yeah, I don't know. My friend Grim, not the Grim you guys are probably thinking, because that guy's a piece of shit. Sorry, I said it. But some of my friend sent me this video of supposedly, and I know it was fake because it's just too. You'll see what I mean in a minute. That supposedly Keanu Reeves adopted Hulk Hogan's new puppy right after he passed away. Does that just sound like,
Well,
oh
he
my
did play
god,
John Wick.
just too Hollywood? You know what I mean?
I
for it to
don't
be
know.
real.
I'd like to see if I'd be curious if that's true or not, because it does track. Just does track with
Right,
him.
but it also has that
From-
that worm of too good to be true.
Right, it does. But then again, like Connell said, from half of the stuff I've heard about Keanu Reeves, that sounds like something he would do. It's like that story
there
with
wouldn't-
Bill
there
Murray.
there wouldn't be a line a mile long of people standing in line to adopt that dog.
Well,
I don't care if
Yeah.
that dog only had one leg. There'd be people lined up
speaking
to
of
adopt
Keanu
that
Reeves,
dog.
there's rumors that he might be the new Ghost Rider.
Oh, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, yeah.
He's too old.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it.
The guy, I think
may
the
not
guy
be the-
from Walking Dead, Daryl from Walking Dead, would be a better.
You
better.
need someone under 30.
It doesn't pretend to be Elvis in every movie. Sorry,
Dude,
Nicolas
that's
Cage.
one of the reasons why I love him. I'm just saying, I love that movie. It's literally one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Johnny Blaze never read like he was an Elvis impersonator.
But he didn't read like he wasn't.
You know, if somebody gave who was the famous motorcyclist that jumped over shit?
Evil.
I've seen a few interviews with him. Johnny Blaze felt more like him than he did fucking Elvis.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. But I definitely picture him with a southern accent
Oh,
and definitely kind of white trashy.
he's got to have that Carney in him.
Yeah.
He's definitely got to have that Carney in him.
I'm telling you, I honestly think it was one of the truer to the origin movies that Marvel's done. Iron Man and Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 are still in my book the tops.
Blade.
I don't remember that one enough to put in a vote on that.
Blade was good.
Blade was good.
Blade was
Was
good.
it accurate to the comic? Is what I meant.
Yes, very accurate. At least the first one. The first Blade was. The other two are just the other two.
A different direction.
It's like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Mhm.
That's the way he reads on
Just like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Everybody they've ever had play him afterwards just doesn't.
If we could just act like the third Spider-Man movie did not exist, I'd be happy with him as well. It's weird because I like Andrew Garfield. Where Andy Garfield as Spider-Man, he was
Is he the one with
mouthy.
the pompadour haircut?
He was the second variation of Spider-Man. Well, technically the fourth, if you outside of the TV show.
Who-
A third.
Kyle
outside.
MacLachlan. Is that who?
But it had Martin Sheen in it as Uncle Ben. The
I think I
the,
saw that one.
the woman from uh um Smoking the Bandit. I can't think of her name.
Sally Field.
Yeah, was Aunt May, which I
Yeah, I
thought
saw
that was great.
That was cool. That was cool. She wasn't who I would pick. Obviously, you want to pick the right woman. You had to pick Betty White before she passed. Sorry, that just
Betty White's best role was in Lake Placid when he tells that cop, "I hope they get her each you cocksucker," and I'm just grandma. You know, it's like-
I don't know.
uh,
I can't see. I mean, it's one of those. Yeah, she could do it, but I'm not certain that Betty White would be the best choice for Aunt May.
or you know who else might have made a good pick? Do you guys remember Home Improvement?
the mom.
Oh,
The grandmother.
I must have missed those episodes. I don't remember the.
oh
grandma.
yeah.
But anyways,
Oh.
Andy Garfield as Spider-Man. He was just mouthy. When Peter Parker's Peter Parker, he's not mouthy. He's kind of mouthy.
He's shy and timid and everything
Right.
Spider-Man isn't.
Right. When he is Spider-Man, he just runs his mouth. Tobey Maguire wasn't mouthy.
Well, you can't blame him for that. But when he was playing Peter Parker, he all the way down to the greasy hair in the Venom episode, that was you got to remember
All right.
it was 1960s, 1970s. Peter Parker was all of that.
Right.
He was the guy
I-
that nobody liked in school.
I know that you're not a big fan of the new guy.
All of the new actors were too confident and too popular. Everybody avoided Parker. Everybody, they just did. I don't know why.
With the new Spider-Man, he only has one friend. Everybody just ignores him. He only had one friend.
Yeah, but see, the actors they pick are too handsome.
It's Hollywood. They're not going to put an ugly
That's why
guy
they
in front of the
pick-
screen.
That's why they picked
Well,
Tobey
that's not
Maguire,
true.
because you can't ever really say that he was handsome. He's better than average, but not handsome. There's a difference. And Parker was like sub-average almost. That's
Oh.
what made it.
My ADD brain just kicked back in. Nathan Felloway, Nathan, whatever his last name
Fillion.
is, playing Guy Gardner, Green Lantern in the Superman movie was fan-fucking-tastic.
I could see it.
That was great. I wanted him to be Hal. I always saw him as Hal. But
Well,
when
he's losing his looks lately. He's getting old.
Yeah, but now that I've seen him, this one, I'm like, oh my god.
I would almost be willing to see that just for that, because the classic where Batman just clocks Guy Gardner.
Actually, all the casting for the Superman movie was actually correct. Even the guy who plays Superman kind of reminded me of Christopher Reeve's Superman. I just don't like what they did. I don't like what they did with the personality, but overall, I liked it. Okay, of all the actors, except for Val Kilmer, and George Clooney, because they were not Batman. I don't care what anybody says. Who's your Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, nerdy.
If especially as Bruce Wayne, even though he did a great Batman, he as Bruce Wayne was one of his best roles, I think, ever.
I'll get back to that. Nerdy.
Here's the thing. Of all the Batman movies that have been done, my personal favorite is the Dark Knight trilogy. I think that was the best.
Those were really good.
Those were very good.
Really good.
Okay.
But hold on. But I think I have to go with Michael Keaton as the best Batman.
I've always made the argument, and I'll answer here in a second. I always made the argument that you almost needed two different people to play that role. You needed somebody who looked like somebody looked well put together to be Bruce Wayne
Mhm.
and somebody to play Batman. Often enough, you can't get the right actor to play both.
Well, here's the thing. Most of it is the voice, and I was kind of a little put off with Christian Bale's voice because it's so.
Batman.
Yeah, it was too RFK. You know what I mean? Um, right?
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong. It was just a
No.
little. I
Put
mean,
down the pack of
obviously,
cigarettes there, Bruce.
obviously you've got to intimidate everybody you speak to, but that was just a little over the top.
Okay. With all the technology that was in Christian Bale's Batman, if I would have gone to Mission Impossible for a hot second, took that little voice thing that they put over their neck right here that changes their voice, that modifies their voice, because Fox could have made that. Fox was brilliant. Then you don't have I've been smoking, 12 packs of
Well, not only that, but I mean, think about not that I'm a big Christian Bale fan, but I guarantee when he finished that third movie, he didn't want to do any more.
Oh, he was done. He was very much he even said he was done.
Good for him for doing a better job than George Clooney. I don't remember the Val Kilmer versions.
You're
Adam
better off.
West,
Version.
was a completely different character.
That was Batman, but that wasn't Batman.
It
That was more Saturday morning. That was Saturday morning cartoon. Batman.
wasn't even that. It was Get Smart Batman. It was meant to be a
I
comedy.
wouldn't. Yeah.
Bam.
I don't. No. I don't think it was meant to be a comedy. I think it was meant to be an homage, for lack of a better word, to the Adam West Batman. And I think that's kind of to the.
No, that's
to
what
the
I was talking
campy-
about. Is the Adam West Batman was a comedy.
Yeah, I've never exactly cared for the Adam West Batman. There's actors that showed up in the Adam West Batman that I adore. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I can kind of thank God. Don't I'm kind of glad I missed
definitely
that
for
Batman.
a completely. It went in trying to get a completely different audience, in addition to any Batman fans, and it did. It did what it set out to do, and it gave us Julie Newmar. Damn.
And
Eartha Kitt.
She was terrible as Catwoman. She was a fucking living legend at everything else she did, but there was.
I agree. She was a horrible Catwoman, but she was fun to look at.
Yeah, but when she opened her mouth as Catwoman, she took it down to a place that it wasn't meant to go.
The whole purring thing didn't do anything for you?
Well, it was, you could tell that she wasn't into Adam West, Batman, or anything like that. She just wasn't.
Yeah.
And she couldn't act that she was. And that was a shame because literally in an episode of Batman where Azrael was pretending to be Batman.
Yeah.
She could tell it wasn't Batman because of the chemistry and the pheromones that were completely non-existent.
Oh,
she knew through that armor that that's not Batman.
Speaking of Catwoman, I was having an argument over at the Cigar Lounge. They said the Robert Pattinson's Batman, the latest Batman that came out, like year one Batman, was woke because Catwoman wasn't white. I'm like, Catwoman was never been white.
Yeah, her name was Selena Kyle. Selena's not exactly a white girl's name. She was like half Latino or Puerto Rican,
right?
New York, and half Jewish, maybe. I don't know.
But she wasn't. I'm like, well, it's woke because it's not a white woman. I'm like, apparently you don't read comic books,
And isn't it the opposite? If it was woke, she would have been a black lesbian, right? Isn't that how that works?
Well, she's always been slightly bi, but I see what you're saying.
Currency or what have you.
I see what. Well, the young lady who plays Catwoman in that movie is the daughter of the oldest daughter from the Cosby Show.
Oh,
really? The oldest daughter?
Yeah,
gotta
the
be
one
in
that
her
was light skinned, the light skinned African American.
The
the
one who was
oldest
on
daughter, the one that was in a Different World, the TV show, the spin-off show,
Yeah, that one.
the
The different.
college. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
that's the second oldest.
that's the second. Okay.
I was going to say, because
Yeah.
the first one, wasn't she the same girl? I forget her name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet that's the daughter. That's the mom.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm talking
She's
about.
got to be in her 50s.
Anyways, her daughter played Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
she's the daughter of Lenny Kravitz and that actress.
Okay, yeah, I suppose you could do that. That would, as long as she's got the hots for Batman, that's all that really matters.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
The chemistry's got to be
is-
there.
They're gonna have a kid who's gonna grow up to be, I think, the Huntress. So you got to kind of make that work. If you can't make that work, like in the case of Eartha Kitt, who just wasn't, wasn't a thing. It doesn't work, and you can subconsciously or consciously, like in my case, if you can sense that, it spoils the story.
Right.
It's like if you get two kids who can't stand each other trying to act their way through Romeo and Juliet, everybody's going to sense it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now to answer the question, the Batman one, I know you two are just going to ask me what the hell's wrong with me, and that's fine. We all have our favorites. I get it. My favorite Batman was Ben Affleck, and here's why.
I didn't see him, so I can't really say
He was
anything.
good. He was good enough. He was good enough looking to be Bruce Wayne, and he had his shit together. And as Batman, he played Daredevil. I mean, he's got the chops for action movies.
Who was the villain opposite him in the Batman movies?
In that one, it was. I mean, his villains were just kind of out
that
of his
movie was
weight class.
all over the place.
Because the first one was the first villain. At first, it was Superman because it was Superman versus Batman.
Okay.
Then the second movie, it was really only got two movies. Was one of Darkseid's lackeys. He didn't actually have any of his own his own gallery show
Okay,
up.
that's why I have no idea what you're talking about. I do
Yeah,
know
it
of
is.
Superman versus Batman, but why would you do that instead of doing the Dark Knight saga?
Right. Well, yeah.
The seminal piece of Batman lore, to come out in.
I mean, Larry Linta, the guy who played the Suicide Squad movie, that Joker was technically his Joker, and
Jay Leto?
That guy was just trash as a Joker.
Yeah, that's like literally the worst pick ever.
I mean, Joker wise, to me, the voice of the Joker will always be Mark Hamill because that was the Batman cartoon growing up. I know, I get it. As the voice of the Joker will always be Mark Hamill, and my personal favorite Joker will always be Heath Ledger.
Okay, being able to say that, you should also be able to say he had the best voice.
It's chasing a memory. That's the problem. It's chasing a memory. Growing up, Saturday morning cartoons.
Sure. I've got season 1 of the animated series, the one where he sings Jingle Bells, Batman Smells. Loved it. But Heath Ledger.
Like Kevin Conroy, the guy who played the voice of Batman, will always be the voice of Batman for me.
I don't know because the guy who played Oswald from Drew Carey's show went on to play him as well, and he had a great,
yeah.
Have you seen that bit? There's a there's a bit where the Joker, it's animated, where the Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill, and I want to say the Toy Master,
Trickster.
another,
It was the Joker and the Trickster
The
kidnapped
Trickster, Mark
Mark
Hamill.
Hamill.
Yeah. So
It's
Mark Hamill is voicing 3 characters.
Oh dear God! Who
And,
did he blow?
he escapes, and Mark Hamill escapes him because since he's a voice actor, he mimics the Joker and the Tricksters and get them fighting each other because the uh, Joker
Who
thinks
did
the
he
Tricksters.
blow to get that gig? I mean, Jesus Christ!
It was great. It was actually
It
really
was-
fun. It was fun to watch.
If you, I
It's
can-
definitely breaking the fourth wall nonsense with that one. It was great.
Yeah, that's like
Third, fourth, and fifth wall.
yeah.
That's like
yeah,
16
yeah.
walls.
Yeah, sorry, Heath Ledger just there was something so magical about that performance. That
You
just
should never
just-
have a method
Yeah.
actor play that role.
Yeah,
It's like
you literally
Well, here,
you know, for the rest of my life, I can't imagine anybody being better. It would be great if there was, but his performance was so original and so dark.
now. Here's the question:
there were scenes in there that he basically ad libbed. That scene where that
But
was
then
not
that's-
in the script, and
Right.
everybody's little freak out looking at him. That was all like genuine, but
When
when-
you go ahead.
when they do, but like when they do characters like that, I think they ought to have like somebody on set to help them walk them back. Because I heard like Disney does that with whenever they hire people to play the characters and they hire people to play the villains, they have exercises to kind of character, and so I think that
debrief them.
they-
You mean like debriefing?
well, I mean not debrief them, but just like walking back is like, okay, you're not the Joker, you're Heath Ledger, you're
Fuck that, man. We need more of exactly what Heath Ledger did. Lock yourself
Yeah.
away in a hotel room, freaking room
That's
service.
what
the
the
shit
last
out of it.
Joker did. Lento, the guy, the last
Leto?
one that was trash. He
He-
locked himself in a hotel room for like 2 months. Read source material and still turned it out like shit.
Well, if that is in fact the case, I think part of it, because I could see where they might have been able to pull that out of the dumpster fire that it was, if they had lost the gold grill, made him less ghetto and less urban, and like actually made him the character that he was supposed to be.
Well,
'Cause
and
that was like
yeah.
that was like literally like he was playing one of the Jokers out of Batman Beyond versus playing the Joker.
Well, technically, in comic books, there are 3 different Jokers. The original Joker made 2 different variations of himself. There is the mobster Joker, which is technically Jack Nicholson, which I hate him as a Joker. Love him as an actor. Love his movies. Just hated him as a Joker.
Yeah, he was
Because he didn't
awful.
play the Joker. He played Jack Nicholson in makeup.
Mhm.
And then you have Heath Ledger, who is more of the jester version of it.
I really actually picture him being more. You can't say he's the original because he's not old enough,
Right.
but he was more like the Psycho.
Right. Then
The-
then the Leno version of it was more of just the not the gangster, but the
the Hood Rat.
hood rat. Which
It's just-
would I will get that there are 3 different Jokers. I don't have a problem with that argument because laughing that his he was anyways. I mean, even in the original Michael Keaton Joker, they cut it out, but the Joker that he was dealing with at the end of the movie wasn't the real Joker. He was able to make somebody else look like him, and he was supposed to appear in the second one, but they cut that out. So there's always been somewhat of an argument. There's been 3 out there this entire time.
I mean, considering how long the comic book has existed, at some point that works if you show Bruce Wayne having some gray hair. You know
They
what I
do
mean?
that later on.
Well,
They have
yeah,
aged him out.
in Batman Beyond, they absolutely, or even in The Dark Knight, where he comes back from retirement.
Yeah.
But like in a more modern sense. Otherwise, he's on some super drug that keeps him young.
Well, I love the
And
argument that the Joker is
the
technically more.
Lazarus Pit. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
there's a comic book out
always
there.
so young.
Actually, if I was going to do a Batman movie, it would not have the Joker. It would not have Mr. Freeze or the atypical list that they pull from. It would be the Court of Owls.
I haven't seen that, but it does look intriguing. I would personally, I want to see either that. I wouldn't want to see Killing Joke because I saw the animated, and that was just dark. It was
Well,
one
the
of my
Killing Joke comic is just dark.
literally, yeah, borderline, not quite blasphemous, but just like, okay, we need to tone it back down for a little bit. Can we do that?
Well, no one really knows
if
how
not-
far the Joker will go.
I think you don't get any further than that. I mean, the only thing that's left is pedophilia and cannibalism.
There has
Let's
been
be fair.
comic book strips out there where the Joker is threatening to kill an orphanage, and Batman is just not around for whatever reason, and the other rogue gallery just ends up beating the shit out of the Joker and dropping him off at the police station.
But I mean, after Killing Joke, there's only two things left that Joker hasn't done.
Yeah.
You know,
All it takes is one bad day. That must have been one hell of a fucking day.
yeah.
Well, there's a line out there where actually all of Batman's enemies, they know his secret identity, and they keep it a secret. What happens? What happens is like just some petty little cat burglar breaks into Wayne Manor, finds irrefutable proof that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So he lets it leak out on the streets. Like, I know who Batman's secret identity is, and I'll sell it to the highest bidder. And all his rogue, all Batman's rogue gallery, they come and they beat the dog snot out of him and tell him, you ain't telling nobody. Because even they recognize that Bruce Wayne is Batman's connection to humanity. You kill off Bruce Wayne, and that leaves nothing but the Bat.
Then you get Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Or you get they're kind of like the whole Joker Batman, yin and yang thing. You no longer have any reason to be, dressing up in a fucking costume. It's kind of like the Venture Brothers thing. You're not playing by the rules if you take away the costumes. You take away that, right?
There's
ridiculous, but deep down they got to know that when they put on the green spandex with the question marks, they look fucking gay as shit. You know what I mean?
There's a Harley Quinn show cartoon out there. It's fairly adult friendly, not so much kid friendly, but adult friendly. And Joker has Batman, and he's there with Scarecrow, and Scarecrow unmasks him, and Joker loses his shit. He's like, "Wait, I just ordered an electric car from Wayne Enterprise. Where's my electric car, Bruce?" But yeah, no, you need Batman not to be a raging psychopath in his own right. Needs to have a connection. Bruce Wayne is a necessary thing for him, or he'll just, if the switch is no longer there, then we get a whole different Batman.
You get Batman 24/7 is what you get.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's your favorite Alfred?
Anybody wants that? Not even an ardent Batman fan like me. That would be terrifying because that no-kill rule would be out the window in a week.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Alfred? Because you can't have Batman without Alfred.
Well, you can. Honestly, I don't know.
I can't think of his name. It's
The first Alfred, Michael
No.
Caine, or
Gotham.
Jeremy. What one?
Gotham from the TV show Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good Alfred. Let's just stick to movies. Just stick to movies for.
I kind of like the one from the Heath Ledger movies. The other ones I can't really even picture.
Michael Caine.
Michael.
Yeah.
Caine. Yeah.
Michael Caine was a good.
Just because he's such a beloved actor, you know, The Equalizer, etc. Was he The Equalizer, or am I thinking somebody else?
You're thinking it was
No,
somebody else.
No.
He played
either
a
way,
movie that was semi. Get Carter.
Okay, Google.
He's just
Was
such a
Michael Caine
beloved
the
actor.
Equalizer?
That wasn't Michael Caine. That was an American actor.
Yeah, but you can see why I would make that mistake.
Yeah. No, Michael Caine was a really good Alfred. I like Jeremy Irons as Alfred. That was fun. Jeremy Irons also just one of my favorite actors. So that, you know. You know who would make a brilliant Joker now that I think about it? William Dafoe. A young one.
Oh yeah. We've had this discussion. Maybe not you and I, but many of us out there in TV land.
If he played Joker the same way he played the Green Goblin, just ramp it up.
You definitely have to ramp it up. But God bless him as Harry Osborn or Norman Osborn, excuse me. Oh my!
I'm a little bit of a scientist myself.
What a just absolute national treasure from whatever nation he's from. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I don't know. I've never really paid attention.
He just everything he's ever been in was weird, and he excels at that, kind of like right up there with Christopher Walken and who's the other guy? God, just again on the tip of my tongue, senior moment there, guys. Just some of the weird. No, not him, but close.
Oh fuck! I mean, they were
Almost Gary Busey like, but without being white trashy.
Gary Busey going, drug stroke gone.
Mhm.
Gary Busey in Point Blank was amazing. Gary Busey in Under Siege was amazing. Gary Busey in Silver Bullet was amazing.
And don't forget Lethal Weapon.
Right. Yeah. His son, he was in
48 Hours.
Yeah. He played Ace. He's also got that crazy ass smile. That's all teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like the Venoms. I like Tom Hardy as Venom. Those were great. That was a good series of movies.
I only saw the first one, and it turns out I have probably all of the key Venom issues that are worth a fucking. If I have the original like Secret Wars issue, which I think I do.
Oh, where he picks up, yeah. No, Tom Hardy as Venom was just the first one was fun. The second one with Woody Harrelson as Carnage was really fun. The third one was good. It was just
that would be good.
The third one was good. It was just sad at the end.
I only saw the first one, and the only bone I had to pick with it was when I took Jackie to see it along with his best friend and his best friend's sister and the mom. The use of the F word was not okay at that age for them. It should have had like a, it
was rated R.
Right, but nobody saw that.
I was about to say,
everybody saw Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
But Spider-Man wasn't in it. That's the thing.
I know.
If you took your kids to go see Deadpool, that's not Deadpool's fault. That's your own fucking fault.
Tell me,
Venom.
I mean,
Venom.
it said it
was
right
the
there,
same way.
rated R.
Right. Venom was the
But
same
you
fault.
have to understand that parents don't necessarily check that anymore. You know what I
That's
mean?
on
When
them.
it comes
That's
to a
on them.
superhero- When it
That's
comes to a superhero or even supervillain movie, everybody just assumes that it's, it's safe for
Logan.
kids.
Logan. People were taking their kids to go see Logan.
I didn't see that movie, but again, most parents don't just. I don't know how to explain it,
Well,
but
my
you
understanding.
can literally say in every commercial, in every ad, in every poster, not even the logo, just the rating on it, and they would go, "Oh, it's a Spider-Man movie. It's safe." I don't know how or why how to explain it, but
I mean,
it's
there's a
been that
certain
way.
blindness. I get it. There's a certain blindness. Well, it's a superhero movie. It should be good for all ages. Oh no. But as I said, if you take your kid to a radar movie, not doing your own, hey, let me check what the rating is on it. It's kind of on the parent's head.
Unfortunately, they'll never admit that. I worked in the movie theater when many moons ago. I worked in the movie
here's
theater.
the
I
thing,
know. I know what it's like. Which is another reason why I don't believe all these Hispanics who, oh no, habla inglés, bullshit, motherfucker.
Okay, it's like this. If Disney made an R-rated with Mickey and Minnie fucking in the very first minute of the movie, and
That's on Disney. That's on that argument is completely on Disney.
who now owns Marvel.
Disney, whatever. That one's definitely on the company. But Venom, Lethal, what was this? Lethal Protector. Everything about Venom kind of screams like Spawn. This is not exactly going to be kid friendly.
And when you've got certain areas of the country that have large swaths of the population of parents don't know the difference between any character, literally, and are just saying, "Oh, my kid wants to see a superhero movie. This is the big superhero movie."
I think it would be hard for my generation of adults to make that argument, because we all grew up with these. Most of us grew up with these,
Right, but people from my generation, when because I went to the movies with the kids, but the kids' mom, okay, who has no clue whatsoever what any superhero is or was, except maybe the big five. And the kids want to see this movie. She drove, and we all went, and she almost dragged the kids out of the movie too.
I mean, if the F-bomb was the reason why she was about ready to drag the movies out of the original Venom movie, then there was more issues than just that.
No. They were very
Venom biting off the heads.
They were very, mind you, it wasn't just that the F-bomb, but the F-bomb was like the
Right.
the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back.
I mean,
you know those two things you were talking about that Joker hasn't touched. Venom kind of covered those.
Well, I don't know about the pedophilia.
Okay, all right. So he
Cannibalism,
covered
absolutely, but it's not really cannibalism because it's not really, the human.
He's not eating up.
The symbiote is doing most of the eating.
Right. That you can find that enzyme either in brains or in chocolate. Okay. But no, I mean, as a parent,
let me put it this way. Let me ask you a question. Deadpool, first Deadpool movie. If they opened that movie without that sex scene, right, would it have ruined the movie?
You don't really see anything in the sex scene. You get more graphic on normal TV than that.
No, trust me, that was Morena Baccara. I saw everything I needed.
Are you talking about the holiday montage?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking the very opening of the movie where Deadpool
Yeah, he's talking about the year-long fuck fest.
Yeah.
They could have cut that
out. Would it have ruined the movie?
Yeah.
You think so?
I
mean,
don't
the
think it would have
graphic-
been as good. Huh?
The graphic parts where it looks like they're not wearing anything at all. Probably they weren't. I don't know.
It was that one. I mean, there was trailers basically telling you do not take your kids to that one.
I never saw one of them.
Oh, there was trailers. It's like in commercials on TV. This is not a kid friendly show. Do not
If-
take your kids to it.
That's fair then. Because
if
I
you
know
take that montage out, I don't think the movie would have been as good.
well,
there's
like
a
I said,
scene.
if you had made certain scenes less blatantly
Watchmen.
obvious what was happening,
Watchmen.
I wouldn't take kids to that one either. And that one had
A great big blue wang.
no, what I mean, what I was going to say is, I don't think any kids wanted to see that movie.
That movie
You
came
didn't
out when
get
I
any-
was an
you didn't get
adult.
any 8 and 10 and 12-year-old kids wanting to see that movie because they didn't know who the fuck was in it.
I can't answer that one because that movie came out when I was an adult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, in the original Batman movie, they took the scene out, but there was a scene where she comes out when she leaves the bed, right? His main love interest in the first Batman one. And she kind of goes, there was not a complete topless scene. You do see one tit, and they decide, nope, can't do it. I mean, if it's a radar movie, then everything should be acceptable
Mhm.
to a certain degree. Everything should be acceptable. If it's a PG-13 movie, you get one F-bomb. That's kind of how they. I was just watching a thing about Hitchcock, Alfred Hitchcock, and for Psycho, they didn't have a problem that might have saw like a tad bit of the woman's breast in the shower scene. They were more concerned that there was a scene that had a toilet in it.
That was such a completely different era, though. I mean, think about it. And you're gonna have to excuse me for 1 minute. I gotta take care of something real quick.
He's gonna go off, beat the wang. He's not thinking about that.
No, I gotta take a leak, man. Gee,
I'm not that far off. Shake it more than
No,
twice.
but-
You're fine with it.
Oh, but I mean, look, they put on the rating, the
Yeah, there's a reason why
parental rating. So I mean, if you're not going to at least look at that, that is, and I don't care. I don't care if Disney does a rated R movie with Mickey and Minnie and Daisy and Donald in an orgy. It has that rated R on there.
That'd be more N17, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah, it's on the parents' heads to make sure what the rating of the movie is, if it's age appropriate. It's like, remember the old Russell Crowe movie Gladiator?
Yeah.
That was rated R. I have no idea, other than the violence, why it was rated R.
The violence wasn't even that bad, as I recall.
No. I don't exactly understand some of the rating systems. What movies? I mean, certain movies I understand they get a hard R. Completely understand. Other movies that get an R is like,
why?
Why?
See more violence on TV.
Monday and Friday nights, pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Fuck. But you know, as much as me, you, and Shadow want to talk about it, neither one of us are going to change the world when it comes to this rating stuff. And it's more of a suggestion than it is anything else.
Well, I don't think that there's like a solid guideline for how the ratings. I don't
There
even know.
used to be.
Well, there used to be like a review board, and people would watch it and they would say, "This is rated R. This is PG-13, PG-G." And
I mean, hell, the second.
I mean, if Don Bluth films, you know Don Bluth?
What's one of his films?
Land Before Time.
Oh yeah, Land Before Time. I don't know one child of a certain generation that movie didn't ruin their childhood.
Every Don Bluth film it was every Don Bluth. Look at every film he's made. They were dark and twisted, and I think they're all PG.
I don't think they should have been. I think Land Before Time was G. There was nothing in that movie that was outrightly violent. There was definitely no sex scenes in that movie.
You mean where the Littlefoot's mother fought the T-Rex and died? That one.
I mean that was
what about the part where all those little kids tricked the T-Rex into the pool of water and they drowned his ass?
Yeah, I forgot. It's been forever since I've seen him. To be honest.
Go on.
But that, oh man, no, fuck. If we're gonna go down that route, fucking never.
What about All Dogs Go to Heaven? I mean,
I
for
like
crying
that
out loud, the opening scene, you see a car knock a dog, run over a dog, knock him into the water. Next thing, he's in heaven.
What was the Never Ending Story, when the horse dies?
Oh,
That wrecked a few childhoods.
shit.
I think it's two-part accountability. If it's a radar movie, the theater should let you know it's radar. A lot of times you'll have the name, then you have the rating, then you have the times that they're played.
Yeah.
It's there if you look for it. You don't have to look that hard. It's just there.
Right.
I you know.
Well, I was working in the theater when Starship Troopers came out, and the theater got so many complaints on that one that we had
the tower scene.
Pretty much, yeah.
That was a great tower scene.
we had to start treating it like it was NC-17.
Like
we had to have parents sign waivers because what was happening is that all the kids with the strict parents that said no, you can't watch it, they would go hang out with their buddies that had the cool parents that said, hey, let's it would just drop them off at the theater, and the cool parents would drop off the kids at the theater and take off, and then we get complaints. Then we get complaints from the strict parents saying, you're like, well, look, I mean, if they have an adult with them, then so we had to start, you have to sign the kids in. If they're under 17,
it was a radar.
You have to sign
At radar, children have to be an adult has to be with a child to go see a radar movie. An adult. It doesn't say parent, but anyway,
right.
I mean,
right.
Oh God. No, a lot of the movies in the late 80s, early 90s were just children hood killers. I mean, as I said, you said Land Before Time. That tore up a lot of, the last 20 minutes of Old Yeller. Jesus. Land Before Time, A Never Ending Story. Just a mental, emotional.
Words, right?
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You never seen the movie Never Ending Story?
No.
Oh, there's a very tragic scene where the main hero, the main character's horse dies in more or less a tar pit. Oh, that was rough. As a kid.
Chewie, come here.
Land Before Time, when the mom dies. Bambi when the mom dies.
Oh yeah.
Never saw that one either.
Well, I mean, pretty much
You were a kid when that movie came out.
What?
Pretty much any old school Disney movie, a parent is either going to die or is already dead.
Pinocchio. If you actually watch the old Disney Pinocchio movies,
Island. Yeah, that's a fucked up story.
Yeah,
and believe it or not, Disney kiddified a lot of those stories. Sleeping Beauty, in the original story, Sleeping Beauty, she gets raped by Prince Charming multiple times. She wakes up after they had their third kid.
Cinderella, the evil stepsisters,
but I mean,
hacked their feet off.
Little Mermaid. The octopus basically steals the Little Mermaid's soul Then at the end of the book, she doesn't get the prince and turns into a bunch of bubbles and dies. That's the book. Princess Bride. I mean,
Oh, it's been so long since I've read that one.
I'm not so much but there's a lot of people that want to bash what these studios have done to these books, how they changed the books. But I don't think you could push them. I don't think you could sell them as is. I think you do have to soften
You
some of
could,
the
but
edges.
it would be HBO and it would be after 10 o'clock.
Well, you said earlier with Watchmen, how they not softened the edges, but they just wrote a different ending for Watchmen, because you don't think it would sold if they went with a graphic novel. I mean, sometimes you have to. Man, Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin goes in there and kills all the younglings.
You had to fade to black.
Yeah. I don't know why I killed those little bastards, but anyways,
I still think they should have stuck with their original intent and kept Jar Jar as a Sith.
Oh God! So I have this friend down in Tennessee. His name is Jason. He's I should start off with he's a black gentleman, great guy, one of my favorite people. And he's like, I'm watching Star Wars. I'm watching The New Hope or whatever the first, not New Hope, but the one with Jar Jar Binks first appears.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace is like, if you close your eyes and listen to Jar Jar Binks, he sounds like an old Southern black slave. Take out Mr. Mister and add in Master Master.
I would not be surprised if George Lucas's deathbed confession was exactly that.
It's like, fuck. When he said, the moment he said that, I went back and I was like watching. I'm like, I got to turn it off. He just didn't ruin. I didn't like the movie to begin with, but he took it somewhere. I'm like, I'm done. I'm never going to watch this movie again. Oh, by the way, E.T., the movie E.T., E.T. is a motherfucking Jedi.
I've seen that as well.
What?
I've seen that where he makes the bike fly and blah blah blah.
Because that race makes an appearance in one of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
In the council, in the Senate.
Not even a little surprised. When you're making when you're working on a project like that, we forget just how long sometimes it can take more than 2 years to put this project together. There's a lot of downtime and a lot of for lack of a better way of putting it, a lot of weed smoked in between takes. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of shenanigans. Was it? If you watch,
there's a lot of time to crack wise and what ifs and like I said, shenanigans are going on to where a joke might pop up and they have every opportunity to make it immortalize that joke or that moment in little aspects of that movie. I used to get to hang out with the model builders of Hollywood. I forget what the guild was called. I was really young, and my dad's friend would take me to these meetings. And like when Bruce was reviewing Dark Star, he and Janet reviewed the movie Dark Star. I literally touched the Dark Star model years later after it was done. I was one of the first people that knew exactly what the face hugger was made out of. And like, for example, you remember the first Star Trek movie?
Yeah.
Remember the big dry dock, that big like upside down letter U that the Enterprise was flying inside?
Yeah.
It was mostly like windows and shit. There's an R2D2 action figure glued to the outside of that.
That's funny.
There's also a U.S. mailbox. There's another Gribbly glued to the out, or was until they disassembled it or just shit canned it. Which, again, there should be museums for these pieces of art that are created.
It belongs in a museum. All right, Dr. Jones.
So do you. Well, did you know that R2D2 and C3PO make an appearance in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Lost Ark. I will make the argument that it was said in Big Bang, Lost Ark did not need Indiana Jones to show up. What part of that movie do we need Indiana Jones? They would eventually found the Ark. They would
They
eventually
wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. They would not have known. They didn't even know
They-
where to start digging.
they
They
would
had no clue. No clue. If
They would
Indiana
have-
Jones had Indiana Jones said, "No, I'm not going. I'm staying here in America." Boom. Movie over. They never would have found the Ark.
They would have found the
Never.
Ark. They would have took it to the island.
How? Explain to me. How would they have found the Ark?
You can't pretend that Indiana Jones was the smartest person in that movie.
How would
well,
they have found the Ark?
It wouldn't have been as fast as they found it, but they would eventually found it.
How?
How? Kept just digging.
Digging where? They had no clue where.
You have to understand. Granted, these were not real Nazis. But Nazis didn't give up on anything. If you don't believe me, look at.
Yeah, who was Jones's?
They needed the medallion. They needed the medallion to find out where to start digging. They had no clue. That's why whenever they eventually got the medallion, they were digging in the wrong place because you needed both sides. You only had one.
What were we going to say, Shadow?
I was going to say that. Remember Indiana Jones's rival in that movie?
Yeah, he was always was a couple steps ahead of Indy.
Yeah, I honestly think that he might have been able to figure it out.
Because they needed the medallion, and the chick had it. Nobody knew where she was except for Indy. Indy knew. That's why he went straight to Nepal.
Speaking of that chick, how old was she when they originally hooked up? Because he was in his 20s, and I think she was 15 the first time. But we'll leave that one alone.
Right. Well, they weren't in the United States, so
that makes it so much better.
The age of consent was like 9.
Epstein's Island wasn't technically in America either, but that's besides the point.
And Carrie Fisher was 19, and Harrison Ford was 33 or 34 when they were banging in the real life.
At least she was in her 20s.
She was legal.
Okay.
So they didn't have the medallion. They need the medallion to know where to dig. They didn't know where the medallion was. That's why they sent that communique. The Germans sent that communique knowing the Americans would pick it up and activate Indiana Jones, and that's why they followed him. Okay. If you'll notice that little German taught,
right?
He was following Indiana to Nepal, and he showed up after Indiana left.
But here's the thing: the other side of the medallion, literally, okay, from what I remember, it said that the measurements that they were looking for were off by like only a few feet. Remember, so many measurements.
Take back to Canaan to honor the Hebrew God whose ark this is. Yes.
So that measurement, like Connell was saying, when they dug in their original location where they thought, and they found nothing, do you think they would have just went to some other country, or they would have kept poking holes around in a circular, gridded off pattern?
They would have. Okay, they would have made a grid pattern over here. Start looking, but the problem was the ark was here. They're looking here because the staff they made was this big, and they needed this big. And so it was pointing over here when it should have been pointing here. That's why Indiana broke the staff whenever he was in there. Even if because he had the right measurement staff, even if they, somehow put together, it still would have been off. It still wouldn't have been right.
Yeah, but we're not talking like leagues or kilometers. We're talking yards or meters difference. Eventually, I think they would have found it. No, I don't think they were.
Maybe. In what, 30, 40 years? Yes.
No.
They would have. Yeah.
Maybe a couple months at the longest.
It's pointing over this way. It's saying this way. Why would they go over this way? They say, let's. They would have kept going out this way, up, down, what?
Okay,
where, over here? Why would they have gone?
Hold on. Nerdy Ogre, do you go fishing?
No.
No, okay.
I've gone fishing, but I'm not a regular fisher.
I like to go fishing. So if I think there's a school of fish over here, right over here, and that hole is dry, do you not think I'm not going to pop the lure in a different location? I don't listen. We can solve this with I'm being a little bit of a smart ass when I brought this one up. Did not mean to, set you off.
It's this is a very yes. I will admit I get too emotional because that stupid idiotic Big Bang episode. It pisses me off to no end. It pisses me off to no end.
So if they would have shot Indiana Jones instead of throwing him in a closing him up in the snake pit, if they would have shot and ended Indiana Jones, not ended him, just ended his time in the movie, he was no longer a part of the movie. Would the ending of the movie be any different than with him?
After they found the Ark?
Yeah.
Yes. It most likely because it would have most likely been kept in the German hands. It would not have been to the States. Here's why. Here's why. They were on that island, a secret German base. Now, that secret German base, even though it's secret, it's still in contact with the outside. There's still some degree of contact. They still have to get in supplies and things like this. And if everything, whenever they got that Ark to that island and they opened it up and all the woo killed and melted everybody on the island, they're going to say, hey, we have not heard from secret island base in quite some time. Let's go check it out. And okay, so then they would have found everything. They would have found the Ark. They would have boxed it up. And they would have said, yeah, let's not open this thing.
Well, actually,
it would have been in the German hands. Now, ultimately, after the war, it might end up in the States' hands. It might end up back in Israel.
I think you're missing one philosophical or metaphysical possibility that if Indy wasn't there and the Ark was open and it killed all the Nazis, that the power of God may very well have just said, I'm going to hide the Ark myself. One way or another, maybe sink the island or something, because clearly the Ark did not want to be found by anybody, even in the Americans' hands, where it magically burned off the labeling on the box so that it would just subtly get lost in the, area 15, area 18, whatever hangar that all those artifacts were hidden in. That artifact did not want to be found even by the Americans. Nobody was meant to have that until whenever, in the
that's
the
a possibility.
Jones, the 9th or 20th Indiana Jones movie that's made after we're dead. Then the Ark decides it wants to be found because it's Revelation time or something.
I saw Indiana Jones 4. I don't treat the Crystal Skull movie as an Indiana Jones movie. It was a weird pot dream.
Oh, that sounds like the time traveling one, the last one that they
No,
made.
no, I liked the last one because it actually felt like the old school Indiana. I don't have a problem with there being a little bit of time traveling in Indiana Jones movie because those movies were always had the ability, always had some kind of supernatural aspect to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't see the movie. So
I haven't seen the
comment. Yeah.
I haven't seen.
I know that I hated the Crystal Skull movie. I thought they were just fine ending with the Last Crusade because it said the word "last" in it.
Because it was the Holy Grail. It was the Last Crusade because of the Holy Grail. The whole reason for the crusade.
It was meant to be a play on words or a double entendre, which meant not only that, but it was also Dr. Jones Sr.'s Last Crusade as well.
Right.
That had to be taken up by his son. Yeah. Because he was too fucking old to do any of that shit.
They made a Indiana Jones video game for the Xbox. I'm sure for PlayStation 2. It goes off like a first shooter where you get to you climb, you have a whip. It's actually fun as hell to play. And Harrison Ford came back and did all the voice acting for it.
Yeah, I wish I would have actually picked up the TSR Indiana Jones role playing game because I really do love that pulp era sort of adventures, the Mummy and the Rocketeer and things like that. I was actually working on a pulp story, but our friend Brian from Weird World War II has been sort of off YouTube more than
MIA.
yeah, and I really needed his expertise to help me really
See, the
pull it off.
problem with turning any of the, like I said, Rocketeer. I like Rocketeer. I like the movie. I remember
It's a fucking great movie.
but it's like trying to turn Doctor Who into a multiplayer RPG. There can only be one Rocketeer. There's not, the Rocket and Rocketeers. There's not Conan and his buddy. Well, you can do Conan and his buddies.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
just all gonna die.
right. Yeah. There's certain ones like that. John Carter. You can't do John Carter as a multiplayer. You can, but it's not. There can only be one
I'm
John
not
Carter.
disagreeing at all.
There
Although
can only be one.
with the Rocketeer, I think like the movie Aliens, if you put an S on it and put the Rocketeers, and you had a squad of 4 or 5 patriotic Americans that went and did battle with communism or something, that
Right.
would have actually been quite feasible. Like the Fantastic Four, except they all have the same power. I think it would have been,
It's
or
doable, but it's kind of
it
I
wasn't
don't know.
unnecessary, and it wasn't profitable as it stood to warrant a sequel. It was a great, like the movie The Phantom with Billy Zane. I would have loved to have seen 10 of those movies.
They're
But it's
supposed to
just
do a. There, I heard rumors that they were supposed to do a sequel to that when it introduced the Wizard, but it just bombed in theater.
I really thought the Phantom movie was very very
That's probably one of
uh,
his best movies.
and as it goes, the Phantom was in a lot of ways like one of the very first superheroes, and it wasn't perfect, and I know they did like a sequel or a something
They did a
later.
cartoon series in the future.
No, there was another like movie or made for TV or something with completely different cast, and or they were gonna.
Oh, oh, uh, oh! That would have been interesting. I can kind of see it. It'd be hard to work, but the Sean Connery movie, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
With the Phantom, Mandrake, Flash Gordon, and I forget who the other one was in the old cartoon, the Defenders of the
Yeah,
Galaxy. There.
I could do
Um,
I could work out a multiplayer elite that one. The Phantom, no, there's only one Phantom. There's only one Rocketeer. There's only one
but
Tarzan,
you put them all
Conan.
together, like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Literally you take in Mandrake, Flash Gordon, the Phantom, and whoever the fourth guy or girl was. You got yourself a movie that would have done great a long time ago.
Oh,
Now,
movie, yes. Movie, sure. I was going with I was playing. I was my argument was with role playing games.
oh, okay. No, because there's this great game I've got here. I'm not going to pull it out because I'm lazy. Called Amazing Adventures by Trollord Games, which is a pulp RPG with all the pulp, archetypes in it.
Interesting.
The pugilist, the Tomb Raider, all the different things. You could easily run that. It's literally one of my favorite games of 2024.
I would have to see how it runs, but
It's the Siege Engine system, very much like Castles and Crusades, but
okay.
with you've got wizards, psychics, stunt pilots, boxers, and Indiana Jones types. That was the game I was going to use for my World War II game called the Dinosaur Cults, the Nazi Dinosaur Cults of Antarctica.
Okay.
I think I hit them all, right?
And on that note, I'm going to have to bounce out of here, guys.
All right.
Yeah, me too. I mean, if you want to stick around for another 10 minutes, but I'm going to cut off at midnight.
All right, that's one. Yeah, we're gonna go for another 5 to 10
Yeah, all
minutes.
right.
That's
Yeah, I can hang around for another 10.
Like I
Um,
was saying on my earlier show, it's nice when you cut it off at an even time increment. When you go like 2 hours and 17 minutes, people are leaving at 2 hours if they even stay that long. They see it's 2 hours, they might come in and go, okay, I could watch a movie or I could watch these weirdos talk about comic books, which I want to thank you guys for.
Maybe leaving.
Thank you for playing along with that discussion. I've been in a comic book mood, and most of the people I hang out with.
When it comes to movies and comic books, I'm always up for the conversation because you're not really stepping on anybody's toes like you do with politics and a few others.
Sure.
My mom was always,
and it's one of those things that it's very adjacent to all the other things that we're into with RPGs and movies, etc.
Oh yeah. My mom has always been a big fan of saying there's three things you don't talk about at the dinner table: politics, religion, and money. I argue with the first two. I understand money. With us as grown-ups, we should be able to have a conversation on religion, politics, but we don't need to do it every night. Having conversations.
You know what? You know what's funny about that saying? Because I found there was another subcultural topic that I found that could be very contentious. Believe it or not, it was music.
Oh yeah.
Especially during the 80s, maybe not so much the 80s, but like the 90s, when the 80s were over. And
it doesn't matter what era of music. I like Led Zeppelin. Well, Led Zeppelin suck. I like the Who's. Well, screw you. I like Metallica. Well, I like Pantera. Well, fuck off.
You know what I mean? Though it was like for a hot minute there, it was like right up there with those other topics, and I'm like, no, it's way different. It's a form of entertainment. You don't like it. Why don't you tell me about what you do like, and maybe I might like that too, as opposed to
you could almost throw sports on that tape onto that.
Nowadays, you throw anything onto that.
Well, no, the reason why I said sports is I live in Illinois. You're either a Cubby fan or a Cardinal fan. As a kid, when I was a teenager, my youngest brother and my stepdad would argue Cardinals, Cubbies, Cubbies. I walked past, was like, "Hey, what team do you think is going to get to the World Pennant this year?" I'm like, "The Red Sox." They're not even.
I could beat that because being a California guy, my favorite team was the Yankees.
Oh God!
And everybody hates the Yankees, which is weird. Because if I ask a simple question, I can explain why I never need to watch another baseball game for 100 years and nothing's going to change. Who's won the pennant more times than anybody else? Oh, yeah, the Yankees. How many times? Damn near 100. So any other team that wants to get close has got to literally win the World Series consecutively for like 75 years to catch up.
It's kind of fun watching it'd be kind of fun to watch the Cubbies. It's kind of fun watching the Cubbies getting to the World Series because you know out there if you're from Illinois, the Cubbies are going to shit the bed, but you don't know when.
And I was never a big baseball fan. I did get to see a really unique game though. I got to see the Yankees play the Angels the year Reggie Jackson went over to the Angels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That had to be a fist fight in the stands.
And our seat was a couple, tiers up right behind the catcher. So, yes, there were some words, said.
That's like catching a Lakers. That's like catching a Lakers game during the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson era of basketball. It's
I am not a sports person. I just never got into sports.
That's really weird because I would have guessed otherwise. Because I'm not either. I've played every sport there is. I even played 2 years of football, but once I hit like 14, I no longer wanted anything.
Wait, hold on. Did they have football in the 17th century?
It was called rugby. You should know that.
Hey, now. Well, I've said this before.
But I do know that this is the one bit of sports that I know of. No matter where you go, if people are talking sports and you want to play it safe, it's always safe trash talk on the Denver Broncos.
Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboys.
you know, it's funny you say that because the last football game I saw that I actively participated in watching was when the Broncos beat the Dallas Cowboys the Super Bowl.
The Dallas Cowboys have not won a game in going on 30 years.
Yeah. When I was watching football, I actually played on a team that was the Cowboys with the same uniform colors, Pee Wee or whatever. It was right before high school, and those were the years when Landry was coach and Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett could do no wrong, and then they went up against the Broncos and it broke my heart, and I never watched another game.
It's I've said this in a few other chats. I came to gaming as an adult, where a lot of you guys came to gaming as kids, and I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I wasn't boxing, I was playing rugby. If I wasn't playing rugby, I was swimming. I was athletic. I was extremely athletic as a kid, and gaming was just, or somebody was like, hey, have you played World of Warcraft yet? I'm like, no, I have a girlfriend and a healthy sex life.
Hey, I had all of those things. I'm not going to say thanks to role playing, but I did meet my first
I'm sure
girlfriend.
there was some role playing involved.
I met my first girlfriend when I was 14. She was 17. She was the best friend of a girl at the gaming shop. The owner's daughter had this huge crush on me. She invited me to somewhere, and she brought her best friend, and I brought some of my guy friends, and somehow me and her best friend ended up hooking up. And
Was this in the sock hop era?
no, but there was a lot of disco still around, and there was a lot of roller
Oh
rink.
God, I cannot
One of the
stand
roller
it.
rink.
I can't stand
was a big
disco.
thing. Really, there's
Dis-
some. I don't know, man.
Okay, this is the music that will make Connell kill somebody. Disco, polka, and techno.
I'm kind of there with one and a half of those. The polka, not a big fan. The techno, there's some times where it's appropriate and it works, but other times, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. But disco, having grown up like surrounded by it in the 70s, uh, there was some aspects of it that were really healthy.
Disco was made so white boys can dance, right, with line dancing.
More so with line dancing. Disco was this great uniting force during the 70s that brought everybody together in a way we haven't seen in a very long time.
That's fair. I am going to wrap this up. I do want to say something really quick. Well, two things really quick. Nerdy Ogre, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
When it comes to
Thank you for
Indiana
having me.
Jones, at the end of the day, you're not right. I'm not right, but who fucking cares? Shadow, always a pleasure, brother. Here in a couple weeks, sometime in September, I might be getting sponsored. I've joked about getting a cigar sponsor, and I will be interviewing Mike Weller from AP Cigars, and on my channel. And if he likes the way it goes, I'm not getting paid for it, unfortunately. I might get a couple free cigars now and there, but I will be sponsored.
First of all, I might make a suggestion. That being that you private all your other videos before he gets a chance to watch them.
Well, this guy is amazing. He's got fun stories. Before he got into the cigar business, he used to sell guns. So I will be diving into that.
Sweet.
Me and him have talked off and on. Great guy. With that being said, it'd be 1:59 here and 11:59 there, and well, in the land of Ogre, who fucking cares?
What time is it there, Nerdy?
1:59.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Same time zone as Connell.
So with that being said, everybody out there,
Tell this
to each
guy.
other.
Tell this guy he needs to open up a liquor store. Then he'd have the three covered.
Oh no shit. Or a donut shop. Anyways, with that being said,
Anyway,
be good to each other. It's not that hard. Or just be an ass like me. All in all, y'all have a good night.
Happy trails, folks.
see y'all later.